Do you remember this song? I get knocked down, I get back up again. No one's going to keep me down. I know you've been hungering for Is that a word? You've been hungering for some Chumbawamba. There you go. This is all about getting spiritual joy from getting knocked down. And we have may I say, a little old lady that's going to be doing the preaching for this one. You know, it's one thing just to hear someone preach about the Bible, things we're supposed to know. It's something else when somebody is living it and teaches us. And this wonderful little old lady, I'm sorry, she is going to be telling us about that today. This has to do with James. This came up in one of the readings today, and this is, consider it all joy. What should we consider joy? Trials, storms. We're either in one, coming out of one, or about to go in one. The storms, the trials. We're supposed to be having joy in this. Why? It's practice. It's a test. It's all a test. Testing our perseverance, and as time goes on, get this. This is what James says. This is what's so key. This is how we become perfect. This is how we become complete, by this constant testing. Are you in one now? Are you just coming out of one? This is how we become complete. This is how we are perfected, by this constant barrage of testing and getting knocked off our keister. Why don't you play it one more time? Go ahead. That's what we're supposed to do, get knocked down so that we at some point say, I trust you. I trust you, God. I trust you. I trust you in everything. I accept everything that comes my way. The good, the bad, and the ugly, I trust everything. That's what Wanda is going to teach us, okay? Wanda. Here's the story on Wanda. And she has lost everything 3 times in her life. As a kid, her family went bankrupt, sleeping on linoleum floors for a while there. Let's see. Then, she got married. They're ready to retire. Guess some paperwork wasn't filled out right because he lost his pension. Didn't have a pension, or a little bit of one. Gets wiped out by Katrina. She's down in New Orleans. Her home is now somewhere in the Gulf of Mexico. Gone. Well, there's insurance, right? Yeah, years passed before they finally settled that. But God is so merciful. You hear it. He doesn't give anything you can't handle, right? That's what you hear. So he fortifies us. How? Well, we call them touched by heaven moments. During the course of our lives, these moments that fortify us. For example, when she was 8 years old, she had this experience. 8 years old. She's been baptized. She's had her first communion. She's 8 years old. She wants a horse. She's praying to Mary for a horse. Okay, so she's there and she's going to sleep and she's praying to Mary, and she doesn't know the Hail Mary really well. She's praying Hail Mary full of grapes, because after all, blessed is the fruit of thy womb. So fruit, it made sense to her. I want a horse. She didn't get a horse that night. Instead, she actually got Mary.
Well, that particular night, I look up and I see Mary with 2 angels on each side of her, male angels, big. They were encased in light, and they kind of descended down, like coming through the ceiling, and she hovered at the foot of my bed, dressed in blue, and I saw part of her hair, and it was brown, a chestnut brown or something like that. She was young, like 19, 20, something like that. My instinct, I got up and I kneeled before her and received Holy Communion. And then I seen her go back up through the ceiling. My life's been good, bad, but I've made it through all of the bad things. God's mercy let me accept my fate as to what happened to me. Each thing that I encountered, which was a lot of things, just made me stronger and better, more empathy for people. I have a lot of empathy. If they hurt, I hurt. They're happy, I'm happy.
Acceptance. You hear that? She's mentioned acceptance. Everything she goes through makes her stronger for the next time. That's how this is supposed to work. More trust in God. I got through the last one. You helped me through the last one. And we get fortified. She was fortified at age 8. Now she always has that to hang on to. Something else happened when she lost the house to Katrina. She's walking over a vacant lot now, and she catches a glimmer of something. Oh, by the way, she's legally blind too. That's part of the testing too. Tell you about that in a second here. But she catches a glimpse of this glitter, and she bends down, and it's a medal. She picks it up. She doesn't know it, but it's called a miraculous medal. I'm wearing one. Maybe you're wearing one right now. She has this miraculous medal. How did she get the miraculous medal? Somewhere along the way, she was at a healing service because, as I say, she's legally blind. She was praying for a lot of things, not just for herself, but for others. And she's up at the front of this church. She's Baptist now, by the way, but she's at a Catholic church. She bounces back and forth. She just takes it all in. So she's up front. She's praying, and suddenly this woman from the back that she doesn't really know comes walking up. She hears her footsteps, and this woman kneels beside her. And she says, "I just got back from Rome. I went to the Vatican. I bought some miraculous medals while I was. Oh, and they've been blessed by the Pope." And I've been praying back there, and Mary came to me and said, "I'm supposed to give one of these to you." And she didn't know it was called a miraculous medal. In fact, she didn't know it was a miraculous medal till she was talking to me when I was interviewing about all this stuff. She just said, "I know I have a medal, it has Mary on it." And then we went through what's on the front and the back. And I started talking about these graces that come with the miraculous medal. Extra graces. And if you read about that, you know about this extra strength given to you. Bishop Robert Barron calls grace, they're like steroids. Nothing that you're doing to make yourself a better athlete, nothing you're doing to make yourself stronger for these storms that are hitting us. They just somehow, blessings from God, help us be stronger. And here's this woman getting this message. This is someone who needs extra graces and gives to Wanda this miraculous medal. Okay, because as she's gone through life at age 2, she went blind because of a botched surgery. Surgeon did something wrong in the cornea and blinded her. Later, she's in school and kids are making fun of her because her eye doesn't look right. "You look funny. You look funny." And Wanda says, "This is the way God made me. I didn't make me. God made me. So I'm okay." And it would just roll off of her. This kindness in Wanda has just continued on. This ability just to connect with God and accept whatever it is just keeps going and going. What else? Oh, she had a spot in the lung. She had to go through surgery. Again, with everything she goes through, and this is true with all of us, if we see it, sometimes they're big signs, sometimes they're little signs, but there are signs out there for us. This fortification, someone giving you a miraculous medal, she makes the connection. Get this connection. She's about to undergo surgery. She's worried. This could be lung cancer. This could be the end. She's got a lot of things going on. So she goes at the hospital. She goes into the chapel, and they're playing a recording of Jesus and the agony in the garden, his passion. He's about to die. He's dripping blood from his face and all that's written about the agony in the garden. And so knowing her own apprehension with surgery and what she's about to go through, she says, "Well, nothing I'm going through is connected to what you're going through, Jesus, but I'm connecting myself to you. We're together on this. We're together on this." And then later she saw the chaplain and talked about what went on. And the chaplain says, "We don't have any recordings. We don't have recordings. So what did you hear?" There was a man's voice and he was talking about it. We don't do that. Again, fortification. God is with you. Jesus is with you. Your angel is with you. What else has gone on? She lost her husband to cancer after taking care of him. She broke her leg. She had to be in a wheelchair for 10 months by herself. I'll tell you about that in just a second after we go through more as she looks at her life. Blessings, the good, the bad, losing everything, umpteen different times, all that she's been through. Here again is Wanda talking about her relationship with God and this testing James talks about. This joy, and she has joy in her, this joy of the test.
I feel like Jesus stayed with me. God's mercy let me accept my fate as to what happened to me. My house flooded 4 times, and then the 5th time I lost it in Katrina. We lost everything we owned 3 times. I got blinded when I was 2. In the hospital, they cauterized my eye till they destroyed my cornea. I said, I'm still happy for all of it. Wouldn't change a thing, because every time something bad, something kind of good happened, something a little bit better came out of it, I'm so grateful, even though, I haven't had like the most perfect life or anything like that. I do have the peace that passes all understanding. I do. And I thank God. And it's really only because of God that I have this. Because I could be a better person with some of the things that's happened, but they all ended up turning out for good. So I'm so grateful, truthfully.
People are listening and they want what you have. Tell them how to get it.
Well, I communicate with God every day, and I ask Him. I feel like I'm annoying because I'm always, God, help me, help me, help me, help me, help me to be what you would want me to be, and to let my life reflect that you are in my life. And somehow or another, He stayed with me, and I don't know why. Not exactly, you know what I'm saying, but and it's just been a wonderful life in a way, in a good way. But yet, I wasn't spared the trials. You know what I'm saying? You know, because believe me, I'm just an ordinary person. You know, I'm just ordinary, but he's he's been good to me. I try to do the right thing every day, even though we all fall short. I at least attempt. And so I just try to tell the truth. That's how I have to live my life, by the truth.
You hear how she said it? I wasn't spared the trials. She's living James. She's living James. To have joy in the trial, perseverance. This is what completes me. This is what perfects me. There's Wanda doing it. She prays. She sees the blessings. Yeah, she's been knocked down. She's living the life of Job. Remember, Job lost everything. He's the one who gives us the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. Yeah, sometimes it's a house out in the Gulf of Mexico. Sometimes it's a life. Sometimes it's all your money. Sometimes it's just everything, anything that matters to you. And he takes it, he gives it, it's all his. And to say in the end, what James is shooting for here is that we say, love you anyway, trust you anyway. I hurt, but I know you see the big plan in all of this. She mentioned something else. She says, it's really been a wonderful life. She's lost everything 3 times. It's a wonderful life. Remember George Bailey? Best Christmas movie ever. It's a Wonderful Life. He's down $8,000, doesn't know where the money went. That Uncle Willie or whatever his name was. But anyway, and then all the townspeople come out. They give him everything, to the richest man in Bedford Falls, right? This is Wanda's life. Now, I don't know how Wanda has lived her life. She didn't really go into detail, but I'll tell you something that did happen to Wanda that tells you everything, that she has led a George Bailey life and how people love her. She broke her leg. She fell and broke her leg just below the knee. She's going to be in a wheelchair for 10 months. They said it could be up to a year. And so you're going to need some help. Now, her sons, who live in a different state, say, well, we'll just move. And she says, no, I'm going to walk. I'm literally going to walk. I'm going to wheelchair in faith is what it was going to be. I'm staying in my home in her wheelchair. So they say, okay. And there she is in her house. She's in a wheelchair. She cannot get out. And she suddenly realizes, I can't cook for myself. I can't. And then the phone rings. And then someone comes to the door. And then someone says, I'll bring you dinner. And there's groceries on the front porch. Or someone's coming over. Hey, you want some company? I'll play Sudoku with you. Someone comes over. Let me wash your sheets for you. Someone else, I'll do the rest of the laundry. You need your toilets cleaned, right? So someone's cleaning the toilet. Hey, what day is your garbage day? I'll come over and take your garbage out for you. This went on for 10 months. You need you have a doctor's appointment? I'll get you there. Where do you need to go? What do you need to do? Who do you need to see? And people came over and people came over and people called. She did not have to make one phone call for help for 10 months. Not one. Everybody wanted to help Wanda. It's a George Bailey moment. She asked for no help, and people came, and people called, and people helped, and people talked, and people just conversed, and people cooked, and it just went on and on for 10 months. She said, I started writing down the names, 80 different people over 10 months, some coming once or twice, some coming umpteen different times. 80 people reached out. That tells you how Wanda is living her life with joy and giving to others, that many people in Bedford Falls or wherever she lives would come out to help Wanda, says everything about if you live what James is talking about. That's the love that's waiting for you. When you love like that, you get love back like that. Let's pray, okay? Let's pray. We'll go to Mary, Our Lady of Guadalupe. Patroness to the Americas, patroness to the Knights of Columbus. Men's Morning Light bubbles out of the Knights. Let's pray to Mary for her intercession here. Mary, we're in a storm right now, or there's one coming, or we just left one, and there's going to be another one coming after it. We know that. That's life. That is life. Constant testing. Our job is perseverance. Our job is to finally say, oh, this keeps coming because this is a test, right, God? This is a test that I'm supposed to be learning from this. I'm supposed to be making myself more perfect, aren't I? I'm supposed to be making myself more like Jesus, aren't I? I'm supposed to be perfecting myself. I'm supposed to be completing myself. Oh, at some point the light bulb goes on, and he will fortify us, won't he, Mary? He will fortify us. It could be something as small as a miraculous medal, something as giant as an appearance by Mary. I don't know, something in between. But God is always there, waiting for the next test and waiting for our reaction to that test. Blessed be God. See you next week on Men's Morning Light.